All right, welcome back to another episode, Full Fletch Podcast, with your hosts, Justin Mulvaney and Brooks Benson. Brooks, say what's up.
Hello, everybody. If you
Brooks, what do you
cannot
got on
tell,
what do you got on your head there? What do
Oh,
you got on your head?
I got I got my glasses on.
Oh,
You
also that.
look at that. How about I can actually see Justin now? It's amazing. It's phenomenal.
Never knew
Now,
I was this handsome, huh?
yep. I was like, dang, he's actually pretty good looking. Caitlin, you're smart.
No homo, no homo.
No homo.
Easy.
But I also was gifted this by Justin: a full-fledged archery hat and mug.
And a mug. The boys got mugs. We all got
Yukon
matching mugs.
Outfitter brand with the full-fledged archery on it.
Yeah. Not machine washable. I don't know if you read the
Oh, it's
little
not.
tag thing. There's like a little tag that was on the inside.
Oh, yeah. Says do not microwave. That's good.
Yeah.
Yep. Hand wash recommended.
Yeah. And then with the vinyl, I don't know how well it would do in the dishwasher. So
Yeah, probably not well.
I guess
But
be cautious there. But yeah, the boys got gift.
thank you, Justin. You're the man.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas. And guess what else came in?
Dun dun.
Da-da-da. New
Look at them beauties.
arrows. It is. Let's see. Where's the... Flip this over. Page. Blood. Eagle.
Yes, sir.
So,
For Fletch. Right
4
helical.
Fletches. Right helical. It's... I shot a few of them in the backyard today to test them out. I like them. I like them a lot. It's going to be...
Touch heavier.
Yep. Touch heavier. About 520 grains. The Amazon ones that I was shooting, because I pretty much busted all the ones I shot at, or I bought at Bear Creek. Those were like 480. So I was like a little off. So when I went longer distances, it definitely showed.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It was funny is on Sunday when Ted and I went shooting at the range, there was a really nice Easton arrow that someone obviously lost. It was at the Mountain Goat uh, box, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Because like if someone else finds your arrow, it's like the proper thing to just to like put the arrow at the where you
shoot
stand.
from.
Yeah. So Ted's like, shoot it, see what happens. And I was like comparing them like weight wise. I was like, oh yeah, the Easton's way heavier, but it's way nicer. Obviously, it was a 300 spine. I'd shoot a 250 spine. The Mountain Goat was 75 yards uphill. I was like, all right, let's see what this does. Like literally one of the best shots of the day. It was stupid. I like shot it and then and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Of course it's the best shot of the day. So
With an arrow that's not even yours.
So it was kind of funny. I guess a heavy arrow is good. So
Yep, it works. It works. No, I mean, like I've said before, the weight, if it's not like drastically hundreds of grains difference, like 20 grains difference, you'll notice a difference in like distance and stuff like that. Like where you're height wise, where you're hitting, where you're missing. But I mean, really, it's not that big of a deal. And then the spine for your bow being set like right at 70 pounds, like, and your draw length, you're like right on the edge of 250, 300 spine. And so, like, the benefit that shorter draw length guys have, and the reason they can get away with a 300 spine, is they cut their arrows shorter, which makes it more stiff. And so you don't have the luxury. Like, I think I cut off an inch and a half. Yeah, an inch and a half is all off of the tip of yours, and so like you don't get that benefit of your arrows becoming stiffer whenever you're cutting them to length. So
Yeah.
you have to go with what spine is like
Mhm.
ideal, but still at 70 pounds, like most of the arrow manufacturers, their spine charts are
Mhm.
showing that at a 30, 30 and a half, 30 to 31 draw at 70 pounds, you're either right at 250 or right at 300. Like you can back, like bounce back and forth between the two. And like I
Mhm.
said, it just depends on manufacturer and, um, you want to err on the stiffer side usually. But that
Right.
first set we did with 300s, that I believe that set, it was just 300 across the board.
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
was
glad,
300.
I'm glad, the 250s are working for you, and I'm excited about the new arrows for you.
Yeah, I'm really
Mo-
excited. I'm
Most
gonna.
excited about the four fletch, huh?
I am. I'm excited to test that out. See how it flies. Um, I probably. I'll probably. I'm gonna try to get to the range this weekend. It's supposed to be kind of shitty out weather-wise. After this whole week, it's been like 75 degrees here. It's been perfect.
Right.
Then there's this week, of course, it's gonna get crappy. Whatever. Um, because I got a 3-day weekend because we celebrate Cesar Chavez Day at my work. Whoever the hell that is.
Nice.
Uh-huh. So
Merry
whatever.
Cesar Chavez Day.
Thank you, Caesar, for the off day. Whatever.
That's
so
awesome.
so I'm gonna try to get out at least for sure once, hopefully twice. We'll see how the weather holds. Um, but I definitely would. I'll probably stop at the regular range first just to make sure I'm dialed in sight wise. If I
Yeah.
have to make any adjustments, I will before I go to 3D. So,
Right.
but
Right on.
yeah,
If not, you got a little bit of a setup now in the backyard,
I do a little
at
15
least for
yarder.
some rep.
Yeah, like that's the way I look at it. Like, because at the end, like, yeah, it's only 15 yards, but at the same time, like, it's a good spot to work on draw cycle, uh, making sure my oh shit, I'm sorry, I'm blanking this right now. Um, draw cycle and then placement,
Yeah,
uh,
holding the pins and then release.
release. Well, but
Not
like,
not punching the trigger.
yeah, and that stuff. But like, draw cycle and then being consistent where I place
Anchor.
anchor. Sorry, jeez, this guy's retarded. Try to get more consistent with my anchor. I still haven't put on the Bomar nose those things
Yeah.
yet. I just haven't gotten to Bear Creek to do it. Um,
You don't even need, like, you don't need a bow press or anything. They should send you a string and you can just tie it on yourself.
oh really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather those guys do it for me. I I don't feel like I would do a good job at the moment. I mean, it'd probably be good to
You,
learn, but at the same
you don't
time, it's
trust
like,
yourself to tie a little knot?
huh?
We'll set up a little FaceTime date and we can get you set up.
All right, we can do that. So, uh, so yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but like
Your anchor and
anchor, not punching the trigger, just trying to get the fundamentals down. Um, just get better at just the small things that I like actually matter. Because
right.
like that's the thing. What I noticed at the 3D range is like I'm very punchy.
Yep.
Uh, and I don't like because I have a thumb release. I come to full draw, anchor, and I don't like try to like like pull back. I just kind of
Yep.
just fire.
Right.
So like it from what I've watched on YouTube and everything because I'm trying to teach myself.
Right.
And should I get a coach? maybe. But at the same time, like we have YouTube University, so I mean, I don't see why
Yeah.
not. So,
Right.
and I feel like if I can teach myself, then that's better than a coach haggling me. No offense to you coaches out there. I get it. Like there's people who need help, but
Right.
and maybe I'll go to one day, maybe. But at least right now, I'd rather just teach myself. And so, like, the less punchy I can be, and the more where it's just like, because I know MFJJ talks about it a lot, where it's like, hey, all right, you're a full draw, you pull, and you're still you're squeezing the trigger with your thumb, but just enough where you're like, okay, I know I can just keep going, keep going, and it surprises you,
Yeah.
and then because it's funny, like when I'm doing 3D and I punch the trigger, I'm like kind of off, but when I surprise myself, I was like, oh wow, that's a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when you're in that mode of you're focused on not punching the trigger, you're just working on, like you said, pulling back through that shot process and staying steady, and then just letting your shot process work, and like purposefully not punching it and being surprised. You're so much more focused on staying steady on the target and just pulling through, and then letting it go off instead of you making it go off. It's yeah, like it's just I don't know. To some people, it sounds like Captain Obvious, and like you don't know until you know, like until you've
Mhm.
experienced it yourself. That it is a whole different feeling, and it's like holy crap, that thing just went freaking like dead nuts 12 ring.
Well, it's like the first couple times I tried to really surprise myself. It felt like the bow was gonna like come out of my hand. I was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like the more I did it, obviously the more control I gained. Uh,
No, for sure.
I would like to sign up for what's his face's Bodie Turner. That no, that's the kid. That's his
Joel
kid.
Turner.
Joel Turner. Yeah,
Yep.
I like to sign up for his course. What was it called
Yeah.
again?
Shot IQ.
Shot IQ. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd
Because
be fun. That'd be. I mean, I would be interested in doing that too.
yeah, apparently people are just like they're like people say it's like night and day difference, and
Yeah.
they really like it, and that he does a really good job explaining and teaching people. So I guess I could be a coach essentially, virtual
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah. Right.
So,
No. Yeah. It's just it's interesting because um I went through that too. Like I went and shot the 3D thing event this weekend, and there were my good shots. I did not punch the trigger. I know I didn't. And then uh my bad shots, ones where I shot bad. We'll get to the whole thing of what the hell happened this weekend for me. But my bad shots that I missed the 10, got an 8. It was just like I rushed the shot and punched the trigger because I was like, oh, I'm somewhere over the 10 punch, and jerked it, and just a, wasn't a good shot execution, not good practice, obviously. Uh, yeah, just a night and day difference in performance when you have the shot surprise you versus punching the trigger. So,
yeah, it's kind of funny because like at first when people say like, "Oh, let it surprise you," but I was like shooting 3D and I was doing okay, and I was like, I'm I'm like, but then the more and more I did, I was like, oh, this makes more sense now.
yeah. Yeah, it's just a from a consistency standpoint because like people will get yipped out on like that's how people get like target panic when they're I feel that how I feel. I don't know if that's necessarily like a diagnosis, but like people who punch the trigger or force a shot because even people who shoot with a hinge who like you have no choice. Like you can essentially trigger punch a hinge release, but it's more difficult to do so, I would say. I've never shot one. or shot with one, but
Mm.
it is, I would say it's harder to do that than, especially with the index release, where it's a literal trigger that you just pop it with your finger,
Right.
and then it's like you can do it with the thumb release, just hit the button with your thumb and it's gone. Um, yeah, I feel like people would develop target panic just because they're like, I'm over the 10 ring or I'm over the 12 ring, boom, go. And
Mhm.
then it's like, I can't even get over the 10 ring. I can't even get over it. Can't even get over it. I can't even punch on when I'm over it. And so, yeah, I feel like that would be a cause for target panic. Some people, they just get like performance anxiety, but that's a whole different topic we could go down on target panic and
Mhm.
whatnot. But
Well, shoot, you see those guys like we've talked a little bit about in our earlier episode. Um, just the indoor archery from 20 yards.
yeah.
Um, dude, 20 yards, yeah, it seems super easy, but when everyone's watching you and you're
Yep.
on a stage shooting and everyone's staring you down, 100% I would be like, I'm yipping myself up right now mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, like I can't get over the 10. I can't
Mhm.
even find the middle of the circle. I can't even find the circle. What
Right.
what what am I aiming at?
So it's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of like, it kind of puts us, I shouldn't say, like, I don't know how to put this, but for us, we played baseball and it was one of the biggest mental sports out there. And I think that kind of helps us in a way when it comes to archery
Oh yeah.
because we're so used to be like, okay, clear everything, just play the game, right?
Mhm.
Whether you're a pitcher, you're like, okay, I'll just get my sign. I see the catcher's glove. All right, let's hit that. And that's really all you think about, at least most good pitchers. And then as a hitter, I'd be like, okay, just hey, just see a pitch and drive it. Who cares what it is?
Mhm. Right.
Um, so I think that'll benefit us in the long run because I'm not saying it's gonna like make us elite or anything, but at least like it gives us kind of an edge at the beginning, or just trying to become better archers because we're able to zone out better compared to others who may have not played a mental sport like baseball. So I'm not saying we're
Yeah.
better than anyone. I'm just saying like it just makes sense. And I
No, for
know,
sure. It's a psychological thing.
mhm. And I think Dan Staten, I was listening to one of his podcasts. I think I can't remember who he was talking to on Elk Shape. Um, uh, the guy played baseball, and Dan's like, he was, I'm jealous of you because you baseball players have it a lot easier than most of us because you're used to this kind of stuff.
Right.
And I thought about it, I was like, yeah, he's kind of right. Because
Yeah.
like when I was shooting, like when I first picked up a bow and everything, and I was shooting, it kind of like sort of like it just, I don't know, it kind of came quickly to
Yeah.
me over
Right.
if we weren't athletes and we're kind of just getting into shoot bow hunt or shooting a bow to shoot a bow, it might take a little bit longer,
Yeah,
essentially.
for sure. For
Not
sure.
calling
No,
you
it's
non-athletes out there freaking nerds, but yeah, you're a
no
nerd.
herps. No herps. No,
So I don't know. That's my take. You people comment below if I'm wrong. I don't care.
uh, I would love to do like because I started getting like pretty deep into sports psychology because it was like, man, I can help guys on the physical end and show them all, like give them all the physical tools possible, and they can catch on to that as quickly as they can, and I can be as effective as I can in that aspect. But at the end of the day, when it's a 2-2 count, bases loaded, whatever situation, and they have like, especially on the pitching side, just because that's who I worked with pitchers.
Right.
Like the mental focus and ability to perform in a like a high pressure situation. Now, it's not life or death, but in a high pressure situation where the consequences are win and lose, you know, how are you going to stay focused and not rush yourself not let the game get ahead of you. And like I just got way not way into it, but like I was starting to get way more into that than the physical side of things. And I see a lot of translation over into archery and hunting, of you got to slow the game down. Don't let the game speed up on you, and
Yep.
like control the controllables, stuff like that. So I would like to, make myself sit down and be like, okay, these are the things that I would always talk about in baseball. How can I relate that to archery? And then we
Right.
can just like have a sports psychology archery episode.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Yeah, because like you said, control the controllables. You can only control what you do. You can't control what that deer, what that elk, what that turkey does.
Yeah. You can't
You can
control the
all,
wind. You can't control that it's raining or fog or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. So there's no sense of getting mad or anything at the uncontrollables. You just worry about you, and everything will work out. It's
Right.
and I know it's so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. No, that whole psychology side of things. I've always been really intrigued with it. And then towards my last like couple years where it was like, and like the physical side of it, I'll teach you guys everything that, like, if you want to know how to throw a cutter, I'll teach you the grip and we'll work on the physical part of it. But like I said, when it comes to performance, like all of that, yeah, it applies. But then if you can't use it effectively because your mind is in the gutter, just like total garbage, it's all pointless. You can't, like, we had dudes that, they threw, like, we had a left-handed pitcher. My I guess my last year of coaching, left-handed pitchers, 76, 78 mile an hour, lefty, crafty, but like the dude was a dog mentally, like just hard as nails. Like he wasn't like a blue-collared like country boy tough guy, but like he just had the mentality of like, I'm going to throw strikes. I'm going to throw this pitch where I want it to. He's not good enough to hit this pitch. Like, he might be the best hitter on that team, but he's not good enough right now to hit my best pitch in this moment. And like, he wasn't like all-star player of the year type, but like he was our first pitcher of the weekend. So Friday night guy, that's what everybody always wants to be when they're getting into pitching college baseball, is be the Friday night starter, game one
Yep.
starter.
Yep.
Like, he was that guy, and he was not our best stuff pitcher. He was just our best executioner. He executed the best
Right.
consistently for 7 innings at a time.
He's a dog mentally.
Yeah. So that, like I said, we should circle back on the psychology side of things, and talk how that all relates in archery. That'd be fun one to talk about.
That would be a fun one.
Speaking of yipping up, I didn't get yipped up, but this weekend I went and
Yeah.
shot.
Tell us how to go in.
Yeah, went and shot the 3D tournament or whatever. I didn't pay for the entry fee for the tournament because there was only like one other person again that was in my classification. I went with another guy. Uh, oh man, why am I Mason? His name is Mason.
Okay.
Went with him, and he asked him. He's like a member out there, so he can go shoot whenever he wants. It's too expensive for me right now to join their membership. But anyways, he was talking to them, and how many people are competing in our classification, yada yada. And
Mhm.
it was like, oh, there may be one other guy. It's like, you need at least five to like win money. And it was like, well, we're not gonna do that. We'll just do the for fun shoot then.
Yeah.
And there was weather coming in, so it was like, you guys are gonna be the last guys out. We were gonna have the last out be like at 2 o'clock, but you guys are gonna be the last out at noon. So like, try to hurry out there and get going. I was like, oh, okay. So we went, shot a few at the like warm up range or whatever. And, I hadn't shot my bow going into this yet. I was like, well, because I figured I was going to have time to warm up and like check my pins, and make sure we were good to go, and then go shoot. Well, we shot, I shot two at 20, two at 30, two at 40, and like six at 50. My 50 was a little bit off left and right. And so I was like, all right, I just need a couple ticks, you know, I think I was missing left, so I was like, I got to adjust it left and shot a couple more. And it was all right. That's close. Maybe I can adjust it on the fly while I'm out there. And so go, and the max range was 50. And so that's all we needed to do. We didn't need a 60-yard pin or anything like that. First one, fine. Second one, okay. Um, Third one was like the second one was like at 50-ish, and I hit a 5, and I was like, dang, I'm usually at least like closer. I'm usually like 8s to 10s. I'll occasionally hit a 12. Like I'm not super great, but I mean I'm just using a bow hunter setup, so like I'm not super accurate compared to like the target archer, like guys using target bows.
Right.
And then we get to like the third or fourth target, and again it was at like 50 some yards, and let it go, and boom, underneath, like missed low on like whatever it was, some standing. I think it was like a deer or something like that. Missed underneath it. I was like, and it just went 5 yards behind it, and we found that arrow. I was like, that's really weird. I was like, I can't remember the last time I missed on a deer or on a 3D target. And it's like, okay, well, okay, whatever. We'll go on to the next one. And I was like, I must have just made a really bad shot or shot for 40, or I don't
Right.
know. I think it was like the very next target. It was like 50 some yards again, a little bit different angle. Shoot, I miss under again. And this one, it just goes because it was like over like a little hill crest thing, and it went into some field behind it. Lost that arrow. And it was like, what the heck is going on? So it was like not. I think it wasn't back to back zeros. I think it was two targets apart. But anyways, it's 2 zeros on the card already, and we're not even 10 targets into a 20 target thing. I was like, this is not good. What is going on? So I go to adjust my 50. I was like, maybe I'm just like so far off, but like I was hitting my height in the warm up range.
Yeah.
Well, I go to adjust my pin. I unscrew it to unlock it, and then I go to move it. And as soon as I move it down, just like a millimeter, if that, it just like crumbles, falls apart.
Hmm.
That one little pin thing, like the screw, like the thing that sets it, It's like a little square piece. It just like crumbles, falls apart. And I try to like screw the screw back in, and it won't do it. Like it won't lock the pin. I'm like,
Hmm.
what the heck? So what had happened somehow, and I don't understand how it went up to make me miss low, but
Yeah.
it did. And so like it just like I kept, maybe the shock of it caused it to move up, and it was just loose enough, and whatever. So anyways, my 50-yard pin had broken, and that's why I missed those two. And then I have a 60-yard pin, so then I moved my 60 to where I thought my 50 was. And I was like, well, we're gonna be close enough. And then so I had like my 40 and then a 2-pin stack on where like 50 roughly was, and that was just a disaster. We had like 4 more targets that were at like 50. I was like,
Mm.
well, this is just a disaster. So I got I got 8s. I think I got 110 on a 50-yard shot after that, and then I hit a branch on another target somehow, and like it wasn't even in the way, but I didn't think, and somehow I hit it. I don't know. It was the worst 3D shoot I've ever had, and it was like, well, at least I know it wasn't totally me. Like
Hmm.
the hitting the branch thing, I don't know what happened there, but it might have just been a trigger punch, and it was a little bit left. I probably would have gotten like an 8 on the left side of that target, and it was just like whatever. But it was like, okay, at least it wasn't all me. The two misses, 2 of the 3 zeros were because my pin had broken and I didn't realize. Because it was fine. I shot 6 shots, all fine height wise in warm ups, and then we get out there and 2 zeros in the first 10 targets. It's like, what the hell?
Do you do you only get one shot? Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's what we were doing. I guess since we had done the for fun, we could have taken multiple shots, and
Right.
nobody would care. But especially because we were the last ones out, and so there was nobody coming behind us, so we could
Mhm.
have taken as long as we really wanted to. There was a storm coming in, but it wasn't really gonna hit for another couple hours. But anyways, yeah, we only took one shot at each.
Okay. Is that the? Because I haven't done a 3D competition yet. Is that the usual? You only get one shot.
Yeah, it one and done. So you get up to. So I've never done it competitively, and you know, well, I guess I kind of have the one in Garden City. We would set it, or it would be set up, and then we would shotgun start, and so it would be like, you know, three shooters go to this one, three to that one, a couple other people. Like we only had like 10 people total, anyways, and so it's like, all
Mhm.
right, here's a group, here's a group, here's a group, and we're all spread out like 5 targets apart or so, so that we wouldn't like be on top of each other waiting on the group in front of us.
Right.
And so, yeah, but it was just like, but I guess to the point that I was trying to say, I've heard that like people will go just whatever target is available, they'll like target hop. So they might start at like 4 because it's available, and
Mhm.
then they'll like somehow like 16 is like right behind that one and is facing the opposite direction. So as soon as they finish 4, 16 is available. So they hit 16, then they go hit 3, then 9, then what? Like they just totally go in a weird order. Like you can because there's no. It's not like golf where you're supposed to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
You know.
Mhm.
Um. But yeah, you go one target at a time, one shot at each target, and it's one and done. Your score for that is your score, and you move on.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah, so that was
don't
my
miss.
blunder. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my blunder.
Oh.
Fortunately, I had my old site two sites ago. So not this hunting season, but last hunting season, or like 2 deer seasons ago. My original 4 pin or 5 pin slider broke. Like the pins broke, but everything else was fine. But they wouldn't send me replacement pins, and so they're like, "You just have to buy a new site." So I didn't buy from them because I was mad at them, and I said, "Screw you guys." Went to Redline. I like their site. Somehow this piece, I don't think it's supposed to rust, but it like rusted and broke or whatever. So, which is strange because it's not like I like leave my bow out and just like whatever, not in a wet spot or anything. It's in a dry. It's in the garage. It's all tucked away. It's all good. But yeah, somehow this one part broke. But fortunately, that old site had like all the same like parts basically. So I just took the little square piece off of that one, put the screw in, and it fit. And so I'm back to good now. I just got to recite my 50 and 60, which I'm looking at. Well, I was going to recite everything anyways because uh I'm gonna change where my sight is. Right now, it's like 2 notches out, and I want it. I think I only want it 1 notch out. Um, so it's on a dovetail, so you can have it. There's only like you can have it one, the closest that it can get, and there's like 5 or 6 notches, and it can go like 6 notches out, and so it can be farther from your bow. That's better for, I guess, long distance shots. Um, just to have it up higher or whatever. And so I'm thinking about for deer season, especially to have that sight tucked in as close as I can get it. Well, I guess 1 or 2 closer, and then that would also free up my. It would make room for my next pin, but it would make my gap larger. And I think I want a 20, a 25, 30, and then a 40, 50. So I wouldn't have a 60-yard pin, especially
Okay.
because where I hunt, I don't have 60-yard shot opportunities.
Yeah.
I have 20. I have a lot of 20s, 25s, and maybe 30s. And so
Mhm.
to be able to be like, all right, I'm at 20. Okay, maybe I'm at 25, and instead of having to pin gap on a 25, I can have a 25-yard pin. And so that's my plan. And in order to do that better, and like have more room, I need to scoot my sight 1 notch closer, and then it would just give me that much more room. And so have to resight because that pin and my 60-yard pin are nowhere near where they're supposed to be,
Mhm.
but also I want to make that adjustment too. So got to recite anyways.
The joys of reciting.
It's always fun. Always tinkering.
You always got to tinker, you know. Well, here's the thing. At least it was only at a 3D shoot and not
Yeah.
out
Not
in
the
the
fuck of a
field.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how the
So,
hell did I miss that?
oh, I missed. You look at your site, you're like, oh, well, that's why. Broken, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the shitty part of that 2 sites ago. So that site broke and I bought like a $25-$30 like Trophy Ridge fixed site. And it was like 5 or 6 pin and it was just like not a dovetail. I was like, I'm in a pinch, don't have the money for like a nice site that I actually want. This thing will work. Just throw it on. Let's get it sighted in. Let's get out back to hunting like 2 days
Right.
later. And yeah, but that one that broke, I didn't notice it until I had hiked all the way into my spot, a good 20 minutes, walk in, whatever, climbed up a tree, all set up, ready to go, kind of getting settled, got it, all my stuff up, hung out for like an hour, and then finally I go to like, oh, I didn't set up my bow all the way. I'll knock an arrow just in case it's getting close to that time. Go to knock an arrow, and I get ready to like draw back to make sure everything's good again, and it's like something's jacked up on my pins. Let down. My pins were like all like mangled, crooked from each other. And it's like, how did this happen? Like again, I don't just like throw my bow wherever. So I
Right.
don't. I think I might have like knocked it on a brush or a bush or tree or something like that hiking in, or I don't know what. But it broke like out of the tree after like sitting there for like 45 minutes to an hour. It's like I can't do anything now. I got to go home. So
Right.
I can pack everything up, and it was funny. Like I came home and texted my wife, "Hey, coming home early. My site's not working." She's like, "Oh, well, that's early." I was like, "Yeah, the site's broken. Like yeah, I can't do anything." So, and I'm not coming home early for a good reason. It's not because I already got
It's I promise, honey, it's to see you.
one. It's because I just was missing you so much, and I love you so much.
Exactly.
So, anywho,
Anywho.
we had something we wanted to talk about. Brooks, is that still correct?
Yeah, we got some unfortunate news.
Yeah, some legislative news.
Oh, this state sucks, man. Sorry, Colorado does not suck. The people who run this damn state suck. So, um, anyways, Senate Bill 25-3 has passed, which is the Colorado's pretty much gun ban, or AKA you have to buy back your rights to even own a. Sorry, you can still own your guns, but the ones that you've already purchased. But if you want to purchase more, you have to buy back your rights. So, yep, that passed the House the other day, and then went to the Senate for some like can't like just for to figure out if there's anything they want to change on the bill. Um, Concurrence. Um, so apparently, like officially, it passed the Senate today. So now it's going to go to Polis's, our governor's desk, and he'll either sign it, veto it, or let it sit. Here's the thing: if you let it sit, it goes into effect on a certain date still. So essentially, that's him signing it. So essentially, what will happen is the enactment date would be August 1st, 2026. So about a year and 4 months, I would say, from now.
Yep.
Originally it was September 1st of this year, 2025. Um, so possession is not banned under the bill, um, but at its core, it's a blanket that I'm reading an article from We the Second. It's a blanket firearm ban prohibiting the sale, purchase, transfer, and manufacture of semi-automatic rifles, shotgun, and gas-operated pistols that can accept a detachable magazine. You know, it's funny is that's literally pretty much the definition of the bill. You know what's legal? And I hope none of you legislators are listening right now. Belt fed, baby. Oh, nothing says anything about belt fed. I'm saying.
Oh
So,
man, Brooks.
um, but yeah, so essentially what's going to have to happen if you want to buy back, you have to get a license to buy these banned firearms. Essentially, it's every single firearm you can pretty much own besides a few of them. And so the individual has to complete an application that will be provided by CPW. The application has not been developed yet. So who knows how that's going to go. The individual will then have to or pulls their own name-based background check. So you have to pay for a background check from an approved provider and then give it to their county sheriff. The county sheriff reviews the background check, the applicant's photo ID, and a CPW application, then decides if the individual should be able to buy one of the banned guns. So if
Yeah.
the sheriff approves, the individual is provided with a firearms safety course. Eligibility card, sorry, and is entered into the new firearms training and safety course record system, aka you're being put on a list. I'm already probably on a list, whatever. But if the sheriff denies the applicant, the firearm prohibition remains in place for that individual, but they can still purchase non-banned firearms, assuming their Form 4473 is approved at the point of sale. So, once the individual has an eligibility card, they can then take the required training. The training must be a 4-hour hunter safety course plus a 4-hour basic gun safety course, both completed within 5 years prior, or a 12-hour extended firearms safety course that must be split into 2 days. None of the classes can be completed online, so it has to be in person, obviously. So
Mhm.
at the completion of the training, the individual is required to pass a yet-to-be-developed test with a score of 90% or higher. Once all is completed and paid for, which is probably going to be another like $800, let's be real. Now, that's just me throwing out a number. It's going to still be in the hundreds. CPW will add the individual into their approved gun buyer, another registry, which gun stores and FFLs will be able to access when the individual attempts to purchase a banned gun. So, CCW permits do not count towards any of this. NRA was saying they do, but that is incorrect. Every amendment that was run to add CCW permit holders to this was killed by Democrats. When purchasing the otherwise banned firearm, the individual still need to complete a background check and comply to all state regulations, including the 3-day waiting period. All of that, and you still got to go through another background check, and you still got to wait 3 days. So obviously, it bans bump stocks and forced reset triggers. The funding for this license to buy program will come out of CPW's Outdoor Parks and Recreation Fund, which gets a lot of its funding when you add the $29 state park pass to your car registration. And then it also gets its funding from hunting and fishing licenses, state park camping fees, and more. Any money you give to CPW from here forward will be funding your own disarmament. So, sick.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? I'm not going to read all the firearms that are exempted. All right. The fate of this bill in the courts will be seen as this is by far the most destructive piece of gun control to ever come out of the state legislature. Break down various legal issues with the different parts of the bill here and here. We'll attach the link to this article. I'll send it to Justin. Actually, I've already sent it to you. So, the passage of this bill is not only an assault on our rights, but it's absurd to think that it will stop mass shootings, as if mass shooters lack training and the license will install morals in an evil person, which is true. Additionally, the firearms this bill targets are used in a fraction of murders, with them being responsible for approximately 8 murders a year in Colorado. We continue to track other Colorado firearm legislation here. 2025 legislation session will end on May 7th. Until then, lawmakers can continue to advance and introduce bills. So that's pretty much the article. So yeah. So it's pretty much California 2.0. And now we wait to see if Polis signs it or vetoes it or just let it sit. Or lets it sit. So
Yeah. So I guess some clerical stuff. So if you have your hunter safety, you already have it. Or if you're a person who already has it, you only have to do 4 hours of this safety course, or
seems
this
like it, yeah.
additional course. If you
Yeah,
don't have your hunter safety and you want to purchase one of these banned, or you want the eligibility card, whatever, you have to do 12 hours.
yes,
So,
that's what it sounds like.
so hunters kind of have the advantage, I guess you could say, whether you
Could
want to
say,
call
yeah.
it that or not, of like, okay, you have to spend less time because it's probably going to be a lot of repetitive of what you already should already know. So I guess as a hunter, you kind of have the benefit of, okay, you only have to do the 4 hours, but you have to renew every 5 years, like you were saying. So it could be 4 hours every 5 years, and it's just like, what a waste of time. That 4 hours was. And like you said, it's all in person. You can't do like a online click through, and which I know that's how everybody does their online classes or whatever. So, um, no, I was just looking at some talking points of all of this, and it was saying that this course that they're putting people through. I mean, it sounds like a hunter safety course plus a little bit extra. Maybe it's like hunter safety combined with concealed carry, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like safe handling of firearms, safe storage, proper storage of firearms, child safety, being gun safe around kids, mental health stats of like, okay, depression and stuff like that. Um, Colorado specific, the red flag law, which I don't know anything about that. And then, like you said, it ends with a test. So basically, my takeaway is, okay, you're putting the people who are already law abiders into this thing to make them abide by the laws even more so. And those are typically not like you were saying, that's typically not your problem area. The people that already follow the laws are not what's causing all the issues. The people that don't follow the laws and don't know all of this stuff, don't have your hunter safety, don't have concealed carry permits, so on and so forth, those are your problem people. The people who possess and acquire guns illegally, those are your problem people. So you're targeting the wrong group for making things safer. You're not like bad people are still going to do bad things. People who break the law are still going to break the law. That's just
Yeah.
what that's what it boils down to. And like you said, it all boils down to the sheriff also. So your county sheriff has the ability to say he gets to play God with your ability to possess one of these firearms.
Yeah.
He can say yay or nay, and it's all up to him based on whether he feels like it or not. Is basically the way it sounds. Like there's no cut and dry. Okay, now obviously if he gets a name with a bad background and all this other stuff, yeah, by all means he has the right, and we hope he has the common sense to say no to somebody who has a bad background. But somebody with a clean background and no other like red flags aside from whatever this red flag law is. No other red flags popping. Say Brooks Benson pops up on the list. That's your county sheriff could just say, no, you don't get one, and really doesn't have to say why. It's just up to them. And so, that's where a lot of people are having voicing their concerns, saying that the sheriffs get to play gatekeeper, and depending on what county you're in, if you're in a more liberal county where your sheriff is more liberal, you could end up being just one of the good guys who has a clean background, clean record, everything's good, and you want one of these firearms that's on the supposed banned list. You want one, that sheriff says no, just because they want to say no, with no other rhyme or reason. So they get to play God, they get to play gatekeeper on, you get to pass, you don't get to pass. You get one, you don't get one. And everybody, like all those same people, could have the same similar type of clean history, and he or she gets to say yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes, no, no, and there's no repercussions on that either. Now, I I don't know. I haven't seen anything that says whether you have like a chance to reapply. I'm sure you do, but maybe there's some sort of like waiting period. Maybe it's like a year or something like that. That would make sense. The way all this is sounding is like, if you have to retake it every up every 5 years anyways, I could see them being like, okay, if you wait 1 year from the last time you were denied, then you can reapply again, and it's up to your sheriff again. Then maybe, but like, yeah. So I guess my biggest question of all this, and like you said, it's already passed. It's waiting on the governor's desk to be signed. Whether he signs it or not is to be seen. But there's no more. Oh, what if this passes? Would this happen? It's like, okay, it's in front of us now, or in front of you guys now. Um, okay, so what happens when a sheriff says no? Does a person get to reapply? And if not, then why? Like, unless somebody has a bad background check, which you have background checks anyways. Like, unless this person has a bad background check, why are we saying no?
Right.
And the whole point of this bill is to say no to more people. It sounds like so.
Pretty much.
There's a quota to fill, I'm sure. Of they're probably being told on the backside, hey, your county can only have X number of yeses, so make sure it's the cleanest of the clean. And if there's even one little smudge on that report on the background check or what have you, probably say no, and then wait for the cleanest records to come in,
Sad.
and then tell them to reapply in 6 months. When
Yeah.
I don't know, they're gonna get a pile on their desk. Talk about taking away resources, and we'll get to the CPW thing. A county sheriff has to sit there and approve or deny a stack of papers on people that want to own firearms. They've never had to do this before. That's taking away time and resources. There's much worse people out there doing much worse things that they don't get to fight those battles anymore, or at that time. They have to allot a certain part of their day to approve or deny a stack of papers on people that want to be firearm owners out of this certain firearm list, or list of firearms. Asinine. Taking away resources that don't need to be taken away. Adding things that don't need to be added. And then I guess to get to the... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just with CPW, like, just same thing.
Yeah, so I don't know if there is a single game and fish, Department of Parks and Wildlife, whatever you want to call it. Every state has a different name for them. For Colorado Parks and Wildlife, that's what they're called. I don't think there's a single state with a department as such, wildlife department, that is super well funded and in super great shape, has all the money, don't know what to do with it. Okay, let's relocate some of our assets to areas that need it. You're taking away, and hunters that don't own a firearm, say there's somebody who is an archery only hunter, they're buying tags and contributing their money, and their money is going towards CPW. Now all of a sudden it's going towards something that they don't even have any part of,
Right.
and they don't get any reciprocation. So then things are getting taken away from, you got your archery elk hunters who all they care about is making sure everything's good, great, grand up in the mountains to hunt their elk. But now the money that they put in for all of that is getting taken away so that they can handle firearm safety courses for the rest of the state, or the rest of the people in the state that want these firearms that are on a supposed banned guns list.
Right.
And their time and money that they put in for these tags and things that are going towards CPW, now they're not even reaping the benefits of it because it has nothing to do with what their interests are. Or, I'm not saying it's all being taken away, but a very, very small amount of, in comparison to what it used to be, is now going to where they want it to. Now a majority of it's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that sucks. And I hope it doesn't, 5-10 years down the line, you don't see that the wildlife and hunting and fishing goes down, like way downhill as far as herd management and population control and things like that. And I know they're trying to, we've talked about it before, they're trying to pass all these other bills and pieces of legislation and laws, whatever, uh, to ban certain types of hunting and trapping and things like that. But, that's just another way of maybe this is a slippery slope. This happens, and now because the money is being taken from CPW to take care of this, now all of a sudden they don't have the money to take care of the wildlife like they're supposed to. And then they got to be like, oh, how do we take care of this? Best way to take care of it: add more wolves. Add more wolves, take away less hunters. We have CPW focusing on uh, gun permit classes or whatever, hunter education or firearm education courses. They don't have the time to take care of the animals anymore. So let's get more wolves in. Let's take them from Canada or whatever now, because all these other states are starting to say no, we're not sending them to Colorado. Let's just take them from like Canada and say, okay, we'll put in more wolves and they'll take care of the problems that we can't take care of, and then we'll address it 20 years from now. And then all of a sudden, hunters go on the wayside.
Mhm.
That's ultimate slippery slope, like worst case scenario, doomsday scenario.
Yep.
But
Yeah, it's doomsday. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not unrealistic. Like I could totally see that being a possibility.
Oh, 100%. I could see it. Well, that's what they're pretty much trying to do anyway. What they tried to
Yeah.
pass, which got
Right.
denied out of the first committee,
Yeah.
thankfully. So, uh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty spot on with all that. So,
Well,
uh,
I wonder because, like you had said, there were some tweaks when it got in through from Senate to House, or House to Senate, whichever was first. When made they made a couple changes or whatever. I wonder when they had CPW taking care of all of this,
mhm.
like managing the training systems, pulling startup cash from the funds and stuff like that. Now, hopefully, it's just, from what I'm reading right here, it's just they're only taking money from CPW for startup cash. But who's to say? Okay, we need them to help start it up, and okay, it's running well. We have more people than we thought we would have. We need more money, more money, more money. Just keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. hopefully it just stops at this is startup only, and then the money has to go back to the wildlife and what it was going to before.
Part of me thinks that's not going to happen because, well, income
Yeah,
tax was supposed to be temporary. Look what happened there.
right. Yeah, no, this is I could totally see they're saying, all right, let's take a little bit of money and manage the training system. CPW is in charge of training these people that are applying, and then let's also pull money and have them fund the startup of this whole training system.
Right.
And then it all of a sudden is going to turn into, well, where else are we going to get the money from? Oh, I guess it's working for us for now to keep
Mhm.
pulling from CPW. Let's just keep doing it for another couple years, and then 10 years down the line, it's still the case.
Yep, that turns into 20. The next thing you know, that's how they're funded.
Yeah. So I wonder when CPW got added to be in charge of it. Um, because if it had been from the get go, I could have seen maybe a little bit more of an uproar from the hunters and anglers of the state. But
Yeah.
maybe they're maybe they slipped it in late. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of gotta read up on it. I know there's a lot of people who, uh, what's the, sorry, I'm blanking the name. A lot of people, uh, testify.
Uh-huh.
So I know, like originally it was supposed to be like just a pure ban. Like you weren't even supposed to be able to buy back your rights or anything. And so this is their way of saying like, oh, well, we'll give you this type of thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because it's like we needed, I think for it to not pass the House, we needed like three more votes, and did not. It did not happen. So it's very unfortunate. And I think one of the votes was from a blue representative who's a rep in the district that's very rural, whatever. I can't say it.
Rural.
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 Um, and I think people are like have like a big uproar about her, and so I think she's gonna get voted next year. So, oh yeah, it's
Yeah, it's disappointing. It's kind of scary because I mean, who knows what the next thing they're gonna propose and pass and propose and pass.
like at this point now that if they get this once if Polis like signs it, like what's next? Like it's just like so essentially everyone's like, all right, comment or email Polis, which I'll send an email to him. But yeah, it's just like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. Sorry. But
I'd be sorry that you are not wrong. You are not wrong. The no, he's too busy filming TikToks to care about
oh my gosh,
what people are emailing in.
yeah, the stupid freaking TikToks I see him do. I'm like, dude, screw you. Like, you got better things to do with your freaking life?
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He's just gonna he's gonna be part of the TikToks that his new young hip squad is making him film.
I cannot wait till I don't I mean we'll see who I don't because I don't think he could run for re-election. So I think his term is up next year. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the governor race goes. Hopefully, I mean, shoot, man.
Brooks for
Hopefully,
governor.
me for governor. Psych. Screw that.
Oh man. Brooks, did
Uh,
we talk about your glasses?
no.
All right. I think we've beat the horse enough. I think the
Yeah,
the
we
horse
we
is
beat it
dead.
up. We're good. Yeah,
Tell us about your glasses, Brooksy.
I can see now, guys. It's phenomenal.
The Elks are in trouble.
Elks are very much in trouble, and it's it's honestly crazy because like I'll take off the glasses, like let my eyes adjust real quick, but it's still from here to here. It's still a little blurry. Like close up, it's fine. Close up, it's fine. So I'm nearsighted. Um, Anything in the distance is blurry, and put these bad boys on, it's clear. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because like I should have got these glasses like a couple years ago. I've just been driving at night with no glasses on, and it's like that's safe. Um, and Chelsea has always just been like, "Come on, you need to like use your benefits. Go get yourself glasses." And I'm like, "Oh, I'll get there. I'll get there." Finally, just said, I need to do it." So I finally did it. Uh, um, it's like when I was driving on I-25 the other day or last week, coming back from coaching baseball, I took my glasses off and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I was so blind going down these roads. How did like I was?" And now it's like everything's super clear. I can see. It's nice. Um, I think eventually I like to do uh, what's it called? The that eye surgery,
LASIK.
LASIK. Yeah, I think eventually
Yeah.
I like to do that, but I think it's like 3, 4 grand. So
Yeah, Caitlin wants to do get LASIK. Her eyes are awful, but she wants to get LASIK after, I guess, after you have kids, because I guess when if you have LASIK and then get pregnant and then have kids or whatever, I guess it like basically go back to what it was before LASIK. I don't know. Her research, not mine. I'm taking her word for it. It's like, yeah, sure, wait for it.
yeah,
Just keep being blind as a bat for all I care. I drive 99.99% of the time anyways, so
me too. And that's why
at
Chelsea was like, "You need to get glasses."
that point oh one, I fear for my life, but it's okay. And it's usually just to the grocery store and back.
Yep. Yeah, I always give Chelsea crap because I think when I got in my car accident, she had to drive me to a few places. Uh, and she's like, "See, it's not that bad." And I'm like in the passenger seat. I'm like, "Hell." Hopefully she doesn't see this part. Whoops.
What's that movie? The Pacifier with Vin Diesel, and
I haven't seen that movie in a while.
somebody, the little girl like jumps out of the van. She's, land, dry land.
Pretty
I,
much.
I I forget who was driving in that scene, but it's like, oh, it was awful chaos. It's like dry land. I'm safe. We made it alive.
Uh,
And then the
I
meme
saw.
is like, but did you die?
Did you die? I saw a reel today. I think it was uh, like I drive because I value my life. I'm like, yep, 100%. Uh, but yep, I can see now, so that's a plus. Um, I don't
Oh,
know
I
if I'll
see
ever.
there.
So yeah, I definitely kind of noticed. I've definitely shot a little bit better. Um, can finally see the target better. uh,
That's
uh,
good.
I don't know if I'll ever get contacts. I don't know if I don't know, just the whole thing about contacts kind of just, I don't want to be touching my eye every day. Just don't. I'd rather just throw on glasses and call it good. But I want, I want to like, do I want to use these glasses when I hunt or do I want to get like kind of more, like, I guess, sportier glasses for hunting?
Specs.
Rex specs, baby.
Didn't you have rec specs?
I did for a little bit, yeah. When I played, that didn't help. It still struck out a
Didn't?
lot. I don't think so. It still struck out a lot.
Well, shit.
That's why I got released. But good times, good times. I'll tell you what, I enjoy playing baseball. I'm so glad I don't do that anymore. My mental health has this what gone through the roof.
Man, that's good.
Yeah. But all right. Well, anything else?
No, no, I think we covered a lot there, Brooksy. Kind of a
Yeah.
longer episode today. Well,
Yeah.
10 minutes longer is all, but
That's
it was
okay.
a good one.
That was a good one. I agree.
Well done, Brooks. Well done. Now, if you, the listener, think that was well done, leave a like, comment what you liked, what you don't like. Tell us your thoughts about Senate Bill 25-003 in the state of Colorado. Tell us if you want arrows like Brooks. And if that's what you want, then hit me up on fullfletcharchery.com or Justin at fullfletcharchery.com. That's the email. Brooks has given you a great visual for you watchers. If you're just listening, hop over to YouTube, check it out.
Yes. Yes.
He's giving you a good look at the arrows there.
So pretty fired up.
Yep. All right. Well,
Bye,
thanks for
arrows.
listening. Bye, arrows. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
See you guys.